According to Amazon, 91% of customers look at the reviews before making a purchase of a product. And they say furthermore, to make your product retail ready, you must have at least 15 reviews of an average rating of 3.5 stars or greater. But how do you get more reviews, especially on launch? I mean, it's the chicken and the egg situation. Which one comes first? I don't really know. We all know social proof plays a vital role in the life cycle of your books. After all, you can tell people your book is awesome, but it means more when it comes from somebody else. Now, there are a few best practices you should have in place if you're doing this whole self-publishing game right. Should you feel extra ambitious and have a little extra time or money, you have a few more options to consider. Let's discuss those options and the best practices for getting more book reviews on Amazon. The very first thing I should address is going to be the back matter of your book. After it says the end or you have wrapped up your conclusion, there should be a call to action to review your book. Now, Amazon does a great job when they're reading ebooks, but you don't necessarily get that inside a print book. And if you have a deep resource section like I do, it's gonna be near impossible to get them to the end where Amazon will of course queue them up to get that book review. So it's just a simple call to action. If you've read this book, I would really love it if you left an honest review at xyz.com, and I'll explain those links in just a second here. Now, there's also another option, and not one that I typically entertain. It is front matter. It's asking for the review up front. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. It's just my preference, though. If you want to try that out and ask for a review at the very beginning, go for it, but it doesn't make much sense. It's almost like going to a restaurant and the server asking for a tip up front. Like, hey, you're gonna give me that tip? I don't know what your services are going to be like just yet. Yeah. So the one person I noticed that really nailed this was Noah Kagan, his recent $1 Million Weekend book. Great read, by the way. He is the founder of AppSumo. And part way through the book, and I would say it was maybe about a third of the way, no more than half of the way through the book, he actually put his call to action there. And I was like, that was smart because he built a lot of value. And so it was kind of good that he went for the ask there as opposed to front loaded it over in the front matter. Again, if you want to put it in your front matter, go for it. I typically put it at the very end of the book. So what do you put there? There's the link I just mentioned. Sure, you can make a blanketed request. It's just something as simple as leave a review of my book wherever you downloaded or purchased it at. Something like that. It doesn't need to be huge, or leave a review over at Amazon, Kobo, Apple, wherever it might be available. Just keep in mind that there are some retailers that don't like it when you mention the other retailers' links. So if for some reason you're trying to get review links on Amazon and you're distributing that copy over to Apple, Apple might get just a little bit jealous. So just kind of a heads up. Now, here's one of the ways to remove some of the friction in asking for the review is through a universal book link. Now, I believe all authors should be using universal book links when they are promoting their books because, well, it removes the friction. You can be able to show them exactly where they can pick up their book, and it will be able to send it to the region-specific territory in which they're purchasing. So for instance, if I was doing Amazon.com as the place I'll be sending people to, the problem is if somebody in UK or Japan or other regions uses that link, they will not be able to purchase my book. The same could be said when they're leaving a review, because if you try to give them a .com review, they're not going to be able to get to your product page, and that's just creating friction, and some people are like, I mean, a lot of people don't want to bother with the review if it creates all of these extra steps. So real simple how to put together universal book review. This is exactly how it's going to look like here, and I've already set it up for my latest publication, Self-Publishing for New Authors, and you'll see that it's available in ebook and paperback and hardcover. Now, when I do create this, I do put in some of the links in here. Now, Books to Read is fantastic in that it will scrape the internet for all instances of your ebook, but you're going to have to probably go there frequently after publishing your book, especially if you're going particularly wide. Now, if you happen to be just going to Amazon, totally fine. It'll just take one time and then you're all set. Now, the paperback and the hardcover editions, I actually had to put that in there myself. So let's go ahead and walk through this. So go to your product page and you're going to grab the URL at the very top of the window here. And then we're going to go over to books2read.com, and you're going to paste in right there and hit make my universal book link. And now it's going to get to work. And you can see now it's going to scan the internet for all instances of my book. Now, assuming that this was all wrapped up and we've got it all set, we could use this link right here and put it into the back of our book. Now, again, there's a little bit of friction when you're using books to read in order to send people over for reviews, because if they land on that page, they're going to be, oh, I already got the book, but maybe they'll put two and two together. Again, some friction there. So what we're going to do is create a review link. So here's how it's going to look. And I've left these links inside the description down below. So if you need to copy and paste those, just remember where it says parentheses ASIN, that is where you're going to put the ASIN for your book. So for instance, the book that we were just looking at, I've got it right here. I'd hit Control C, and then I go in, highlight the ASIN right here, and we would paste that right on in. We would do the same thing going through. Now with US, it has a little longer of a URL, and you will see with all the other regions, it's a lot shorter. Okay, I paused the camera, I went through, I put in all the ASINs here for each one of these territories. Now, you can put this in the back of your book. The problem is, that's a lot right there. And especially if you're putting this in a print book, you're expecting someone to type that out all by hand. And boy, that's going to be a bit of a mess. So we've got a lot of links here, and sure, we can start sending people over towards those different directions. But might I recommend something that's going to be a little bit easier? One link that'll send everybody everywhere. So there is a universal book link, but there also is a universal review link. Now, sadly, Books to Read doesn't have us covered on that one, but there is another one. Yes, it's a premium option, runs about like $6 per month that you go ahead and use. It's called Genius Link. So I'm going to take my sheet, move it over here to the other screen, and I'm going to open up Genius Link. You can go and get access to Genius Link at dalelinks.com/Genius Link. Give them a shot. I use them all the time. Fantastic. It's really, really good for more than getting reviews. It's great for doing affiliate sales as well. So we're going to go in and click New and then select Advanced. And this is going to open it up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom link. So let's say this is for my Amazon reviews for books book. I'm going to go ahead and put reviews book. Maybe that'll work. Ooh, it's already taken. So what we'll do is reviews book. How about we do this? Reviews book. Okay, great. We've got something there. Now, this doesn't matter because I'm going to show you a way around this ugly link here eventually. So what we will do is take these links that we already had set. So I will copy that US link and I'll paste it right here. Great. Now what we need to do is start to build out all the other regions. This is going to be a little bit taxing, but it's well worth it if you just stick with it. So I'm going to left click on If, and we will go to country or region, and then we will go ahead and put in United Kingdom. And now what we'll do is from our list, we will drop this in here and paste. Boom. If next region, it's going to be rinse and repeat. So Germany is our next one. And we'll go ahead and paste that in here. And I'm going to go through and paste all of these in here so all the regions are set. Okay, so I've gone through and I've done all the links here that I need to. And so at this point, all we need to do is hit save, and we've got ourselves a universal review link. And boom, we just copy this. And if we want to leave a review, watch this. We'll just paste this on in here, and this should redirect me on over to .com as you see here at the top. And of course, I'm not signed in incognito, so of course it's rejecting me access, but that's okay. It will still work nonetheless. Now, what about pre-launch? Because that's where a lot of people get hung up. This was something a recent viewer had asked, like, hey, what do I put here? I want to put a QR code, I want to do a link, but I'm not really sure because I need to publish the book first in order to get the ASIN. That's a good point. Do you have to upload a new version of your manuscript when you go to publish? Hopefully not. Here's how you create the link before ever knowing your ASIN on Amazon. So essentially what you're going to want to do, create some type of a subdirectory or subdomain. So subdirectories would be, say for instance, dalelinks.com/reviewsbook. Or for a subdomain, it would be reviewsbook.dalelinks.com. Those are going to be some options you can go ahead and exercise. Or you could buy a domain and have that represent the book. So for instance, I don't know, I could probably put reviewsbookbydale.com. And that would redirect somebody. And I'd put it in the very back of the book. Now, when you go to launch, what you would essentially need to do is get that link, put it in and attach that to that domain or that subdomain or subdirectory. Let me show you as an example. So when we go over here into WordPress, I use a free plugin called Pretty Links. I've never upgraded whatsoever and it has been fantastic. So you remember the link that we created with Genius Links? What we will do is now create a new one. We're going to hit Add New. It'll be Universal Reviews link. Amazon reviews for books. So then what we would do is we would drop this in here and then we can go ahead and create our subdomain. Just super easy. It'd be reviews book. Kind of redundant, but you get what I mean. And then we would hit update. Now the good news is I've already created a link inside my dashboard. So all I need to do is do what you're going to need to do when you go live. So here's my link. I'm going to hit edit. And then what I would want to do is now drop in the Genius link. So that way it's a universal review link. So when someone visits that, they will easily go to the different Amazon regions. Now you can get bonus points. This is probably not going to work so much for ebook. It could, or it's going to more so work for print books. So what you could do is a QR code where someone could scan that. So in this instance, we could always go in and drop that specific link that we created through the Pretty Links or the subdomain that we want to use. So in this instance, we'll go HTTPS. So here is the subdomain that I created before. And all we'd need to do is if we want to change the color, we can always change the way it is laid out and some of the calls to action. I'm okay with this one here. We're going to hit download QR code and it will give us the QR code that we need. And see, there's the QR code. We can go ahead and drop that in there. Now, the extra really cool thing about this in the Kindlepreneur is you can actually drop in a picture or image if you want to. Maybe even your book cover, you can drop that in there. It's a nice little touch. So that way when someone scans this, it will send them on over to the reviews. So the QR code is another way to go. So it's just as simple as get the domain set up, the subdomain or the subdirectory. It won't direct anywhere at first, but when your book publishes, all you need to do is update that link so that way when the customer or reader buys it and they open it, you will be able to get them to redirect. Now trust me on this one, you're going to be able to catch your book as soon as it publishes. You're not going to be flooded with orders and someone getting to the back of your book wanting to leave a review within the first day. So don't freak out trying to get that review link put in place. Just get it to where you have the subdomain or subdirectory or a domain name put in place and then update it when the book is published. So where else do you get reviews? Now, the next best place is going to be an advanced reader copy team. Now, this is where you have a volunteer army of readers, those that are willing to read your book in exchange for leaving a review on various sites. In instances like Amazon's fantastic, or Goodreads, or Kobo, or even just a good YouTube video is fantastic. It's completely up to you on what you want to do. Just put your focus in the direction in which you want the most reviews. If it's Amazon, go for Amazon. Now, you can do this ongoing or just pre-launch. I think a lot of people assume an advanced reader copy team is just strictly pre-launch, but you can actually keep this going. Just a heads up though, if you're enrolled in KDP Select, it's okay to do the ARC ahead of time, giving people free access to that. But once you go over into the post-launch phase and your ebook is enrolled in KDP Select, it gets a little bit more hairy. I would recommend that you would gift out copies of the book so that way when it is being done through Amazon, they're going to be a little less side looking you on this one. Now, Here is a great couple of resources when it comes to doing it yourself, of doing an ARC reader team. Can you manage it with simple things like some spreadsheets and some cloud storage that you can distribute to readers? Sure. But there are better systems in place. I did that back in 2015, 2014. It was okay back then, but I think with good services like Story Origin or BookFunnel, where they help manage all that for you for an advanced reader copy team, makes life so much easier. Now, I lean more towards Story Origin, a little biased. Evan Gao is a good friend of mine. I've been seeing this company grow for the past few years, and it's fantastic. For about $10 on the monthly plan or $100 on the yearly plan, you'll be able to get access to advanced reader copy teams as well as building out other aspects of your marketing strategy. So you could manage, again, the ARC team on your own, but again, Story Origin I feel is better because it's going to help you with distribution, and if for some reason a reader runs into an issue with reading it, Story Origin is going to take care of the support. You don't need to worry about it. So even with a paid service like Story Origin, you still have to do the work of building an ARC team. Though there is some organic reach on Story Origin, it's not enough to draw in many readers for the sufficient amount of reviews that you need. In fact, what I would always say, and this is going to go across the board when you're setting up your advanced reader copy team, there's the law of thirds for reviews. I have found by and large that a third of the people that agree to do an advanced reader copy review, they're the ones that leave it. The other 2/3, they just kind of ghost you. It happens. Life gets in the way. So for instance, if you've got 50 readers on your ARC team, you can anticipate 15 reviews upon launch. So that's just some things to keep in mind. Now, if you get a better average, by all means, that's great. I hope you do. I hope you get 100%. If you get 50 readers and have all 50 leave a review, that's fantastic. But that's in a perfect world. The other nice thing about Story Origin is they actually have what's called newsletter swaps and group promos. For newsletter swaps, you are working with other authors, and what you will do is share something of theirs, they'll share something of yours. And it's kind of a nice little system that is put together there. And group promos is like newsletter swaps on steroids, where a bunch of authors work together to promote a large offering here. So that is one of the ways that you can build your advanced reader copy team by way of Story Origin. So what's the best first steps to launching with an ARC team? It's going to be simple. You need to invite people to your ARC team. That's it. At least once before launching. And longer if you have a lengthier book to read. If you've got an epic length novel, 1 month probably is not going to cut it. Now you're going to send this invite out to email subscribers, social media subscribers, and any reader willing to read your book in exchange for leaving an honest review. The next up is going to be premium ARC services. Let's just say, for instance, you're like, Dale, I don't feel like going fishing. I don't feel like searching for reviewers. I want somebody else to do it for me. Yes, there are a number of premium ARC review services out there. The very first one I've always known of is Hidden Gems Books. I heard about them, I think, through Dave Chesson's podcast a number of years ago. I applied to one of theirs. It was a long wait time. When I say long wait time, I applied for it. They accepted within a year. 1 year. So you need to plan ahead if you're using Hidden Gems Books. I will tell you that my results were, they weren't great, but that seems to be a platform that is more catered towards fiction authors. So I don't think my nonfiction books really generated much buzz through Hidden Gems Books. I just gave up on them because my nonfiction books weren't going to pull in enough attention, and that's no offense to them. I'm sure they do fantastic. Obviously, they're busy, so they have results. The other one I heard about was Book Sirens. Now, that's about $100 per year or $10 per ARC with a $2 per reader fee, where you get to set the limit of the ARC readers. So, for instance, if $100 per year just ain't working for you, you want to just go on one specific ARC, fantastic. It's going to be about $2 per reader, and you can tell them exactly how many readers you can do up to. And I think they have like a minimum. You'll have to double check. Of course, as per usual, links inside the description. They do have a full vetting process, and I hate to say it, even on my more recent launch of self-publishing for new authors, they rejected me. And here's what they said. Hi Dale, a lot of your books seem to target aspiring authors. You won't find that audience in our reader community. Authors use Book Sirens to get reviews, but they don't review other ARCs on Book Sirens. So the author plan is not going to be a good investment. I actually slightly disappointed, of course. I really wanted to have that work, but I am really applauding them for not just taking my money and saying, hey, have at it. And I got no ARC readers at the end of that specific campaign or that year. So that is really good. Big kudos to Book Sirens on that. Now, the other one is booksprout.co. They have free plans up to $290 per year. I more recently picked up their $290 per year option. So that way I could keep unlimited amount of books kind of going into the system and getting more ARC reviewers. They do have monthly plans too that are a little bit more cheap. Now, NetGalley Co-op. Now, NetGalley you might have heard of before, but it essentially is a very reputable review gathering organization. So if you ever get in with NetGalley, it's a good option. But the problem is it tends to be a bit more expensive and the readers tend to be a little more discerning. I have not tried them out before. I'd actually found out through Julie Broad of Book Launchers on YouTube, as well as Bethany Atazada had shared something about NetGalley. In fact, it was through Bethany that I discovered NetGalley Co-op through victoryediting.com, I think is the name of it. And for about $55 per month or $500 per year, you could be able to get access to those readers. And all I needed to do was pay the invoice, upload all of my manuscript, my cover, everything that they needed to know, and then from there Victory Editing puts it over into NetGalley and helps bring in some of those readers. So it's a lot more passive. You really don't need to worry about going after people, because with some of these services, the premium services, they will do that for you. Now, I believe that there should be a middle ground, that you can probably even try a little bit of the premium options if you have the discretionary expense as well as the free options. That is exactly what I'm doing. Now, what about author review sites? Sites like puppy.co, getbooksreviewed.com, or BookBite all function as a marketplace that pretty much matches authors up with other authors' books. So here's how author review swaps work. Originally how they worked and how they became banned eventually. So one author reads another author's review and vice versa. And when they go ahead and post that, great. All's well in the world. But the problem was there were a lot of scammers that just gamed the system, and they just put up a bunch of fake reviews and had some virtual assistants that were just putting up some really bad reviews. And in due time, review swaps were removed and banned from the Amazon platform. So there were some companies that thought ahead, something like puppy.co, which was founded by a former employee of CreateSpace, if I can recall. They had thought about this and said, ooh, what if we could find some way to connect authors with books but never have a direct relationship, and at the same time not paying those reviewers? And so hence why they actually launched a site to where they can do the author review swaps, but it's a legit way of doing it. Now, is it 100% safe? So far, so good. I haven't heard anything terrible about it, and I haven't heard KDP come out and say that they don't like those particular types of services, but it removes that bias of working directly with an author, and that's exactly why they don't like author review swaps going on, because they believe that there is bias in the review, so therefore they will remove the review and review privileges if they discover any type of shenanigans going on there. So who are these services for when you're doing the author review swaps? Now, I'm going to tell you that it's not going to be something I want to do. I did it a number of years ago, and I just did not enjoy reading other people's books because I felt almost obligated to leave a review, and sometimes I wouldn't leave the nicest reviews. I think I probably would fit in NetGalley pretty well. But either way, what ended up happening is I got burnt out. I don't want to read somebody else's book in exchange for reading my book. I would rather have them read my book. But if there are new authors out there that are just struggling to get by and they really need to get some reviews, this is definitely going to be one of the other viable options to consider. Do I think you should do it forever? No. Now, here is my reservation when it comes to some of these author review swap sites, is that there was a YouTuber I watched not too long ago that was clearly abusing the system and even encouraging other people to do this, to where you would hire a virtual assistant to get the reviews for you through those services. But here's the problem. Do you think a virtual assistant is going to stop and read an entire book and then leave an honest review? Probably not. They're just looking to get their job done as quickly and as efficiently as possible so that way they get paid. And especially if you're looking at any cheaply foreign outsourced virtual assistants, and in this instance, this YouTuber pretty much copped to it that, yeah, they were just paying cheap VAs to collect the reviews for them. That is terrible. I think that platforms like Puppy or Get Books Reviewed need to pay close attention to who is getting in there. So it's just very, very questionable. So proceed with caution. Again, I don't outright just knock down all these sites. I think they are good, but just be prepared. You might run into virtual assistants that give you less than great reviews. All right, what about editorial reviews? Editorial reviews essentially are the reviews that you will collect for your book for marketing purposes. Yes, it's great for marketing and graphics, on your cover, inside your book, or on your product page. In fact, on your product page, if you actually sign up for Amazon Author Central, or where you feature your books in all of its capacity there, you will be able to go in each one of those titles and add in a specific blurb or a review or a clip of a review into the product details through the editorial review section. It's dead simple to do, and honestly, I think there's more authors need to be doing this. Now, not to be confused, don't get the reviews that you have already posted on Amazon posted into your editorial review section. It's just redundant. But if you're getting editorial reviews elsewhere, then this is a great place to put it. Now, only spend what you can afford to lose, all right? Because I'm going to tell you this right now, editorial reviews, yes, they cost money. Why do they cost money? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's a scam. No, it's not a scam. Editorial reviews have been around for a long time. And in fact, is very much involved in the traditional publishing business. And hate to tell you, they've been around for a number of years, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. So I think that it's going to be okay to get editorial reviews. Now, if it doesn't set well with you, totally fine. What you should consider at least are the free options. Now, there are a couple that jumps off the top of my head. Reader's Favorite is one of my favorites. No pun intended. Yes, they have an upgrade option, but I've never touched it. My buddy Bill Latoria did the upgraded option, and he said it was fantastic. He loved it. So for Reader's Favorite, you can get that free review. And then there's also another one called the Kindle Book Review. Now, I only recently tested them out. I've been kind of keeping them bookmarked for a while. I don't know if it's still active. They've got a list that you go and you apply to them via email, and they will respond if it's good or not. There's also premium editorial review services that you can get as well. So this means that you're paying, let's say, a larger amount than, say, the free that we just previously mentioned. Now, Book Award Pro, that is a book marketing service that I really, really love. They are a matchmaker of books to the appropriate awards or reviews. Now, they specifically curate the best options for your book based on your needs. Really love me some Book Award Pro. I have the Pro plan, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. Now, there is a more expensive option through places like Independent Book Review or Kirkus. So with Independent Book Review, I think it's like $50. It could be more, it could be a little less. And Kirkus goes upwards of about $500 or more. Now, Kirkus has been around for a long freaking time. So they're charging probably a higher premium because of their credibility and their reputation. Now, you don't need many editorial reviews here, maybe like 5 or 6 total. You don't need to go completely overboard. For instance, I had an editorial review service that I did through ebookfairs.com. Now, they're a lot cheaper than Kirkus or the other previous options that I had mentioned. And I think it's about $20 and you could get a few reviews. But ebook fairs, fantastic. I've actually currently got my book in there right now to collect some reviews. Big shout out to Kenny Myers, the founder of ebookfairs.com. You want more details about ebook fairs? Again, links down below. So don't go broke using this option. It only moves the needle if you use the reviews to market your book. Editorial reviews do absolutely nothing if you do nothing with them. So do these services offer additional avenues of exposure? Sure, but will it garner more sales? It's certainly debatable. Get more step-by-step instructions on getting more reviews in my 5-time award-winning book, Amazon Reviews for Books. Or if you're just breaking into the business and want to know the best first steps, grab a copy of my new book, Self-Publishing for New Authors, at dalelinks.com/new authors. There's one way to get reviews through a book marketing service called StoryAd. Find out how you can reach tens of thousands of readers and reviewers through StoryAd in this next video. I'll see you there.